Welcome back with a smiling face. Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Or if you want to pay for more such audiobooks, you can send us a request in a private Facebook group, or join us on WhatsApp, a link is given in the video description. Wolves of Shadowed Fate. Episode 2. Chapter 7-12. Justin's POV. I felt physically sick. The second raven fell out of the tree. My wolf, Lorne, has been going nuts. She smells like vanilla musk, and it is calling out to us. I barely caught her scent when I first found her, and I had been enraptured. I had told a version of the truth to Reagan. She would have been furious if I had told her that I was coming up to her room for a visit and was pulled away because the light scent of my mate was bewitching me. I was outside Raven's room for 20 minutes warring with Lorne because he still wants her. Reagan opened her door to check and see where I was. We cannot accept Raven as our mate. There was only one clear choice for who we needed to be with, and that was Reagan. Raven is the pariah of the pack. The pack has been picking on her in one way or another, her whole life. There is no way that I could take over the pack as my mate. We all know that she is the firstborn, but we also all know that Reagan is the clear choice of the alpha couple. She will get the pack, she will get to be the Luna. That was set in motion a long time ago. I don't know why the two sisters are treated so differently, but it is alpha approved, and that is all that mattered. There is no way to change it. Reagan made a lot of sense when she came to me with her deal. I was soon to be beta, but I did have some alpha blood in me, so I am stronger than a regular beta. I was born to lead a pack, and now I am finally being given an opportunity to do just that. I was proud that Reagan thought of me as her perfect mate and wanted me to be her chosen mate. I had to put some thought into it, as I really did want my true mate originally. I mean, I could still be beta of the pack and have my true mate. But then I realized that I might not be beta if I rejected her offer. Reagan is known to be vindictive and nasty when she doesn't get her way. I didn't want to have to deal with that, plus she is pretty hot. I can't say that I haven't thought about it, with her dressing in those skimpy short skirts, trying to find her next boyfriend. I remember her doing that in high school, bending over to try to entice the guys in high school. I did want her, but I wanted my mate more and didn't want to upset her when I did find her. What really drove Reagan's offer home was the fact that she said that Raven had been interested in me, for quite a while. When Reagan told me that Raven might be my true mate, my heart stuttered in fear. I am a strong wolf, but I didn't want to have to fight a battle in the pack every single day. I mean, it would be us, against the whole pack. Reagan would never let us live a peaceful life. I know that for a fact, plus accepting her as my mate would take my worth down to hers in the rest of the pack's eyes. She is just not worthy enough to be my mate. She doesn't even have a wolf. At least that is what we all thought when I made the deal with Reagan. We just found out how wrong we were. When she hit the ground and was knocked unconscious, her scent flooded the forest glade and I immediately stopped having S*X with Reagan. Lorne was howling in my head, begging me to go and help our mate. I felt terrible because I knew that she had passed out and fallen from the tree from the pain I caused her. I never thought that Reagan and I were going to get caught before the announcement could be made. Raven had no idea I was her mate, and until she did, she wouldn't know that I was sleeping with Reagan. I was actually going to nicely reject her tomorrow, away from Reagan. That way she wouldn't be as hurt by it, but all that is out the window now. She knows that her sister and I decided to be chosen mates, and even knew that I was aware that she was my mate and slept with Reagan anyway. I cannot imagine the pain that she is going through. I know that I have broken her heart, and I am disgusted by my own behavior. I am overcome with guilt. You should be ashamed, she heard you tell Reagan that you were always interested in her and that you are getting the better sister out of the deal. How else do you expect Raven to feel? I can feel anger coming from our mate, and she won't even tell me her name, Justin. You have made my mate hate me. There is nothing wrong with this beautiful girl. She is special, and you are an it, my wolf Lorne tells me, and he is right. I brush her hair gently away from her face with my fingertips and I see just how gorgeous she really is. I have never been this close to her before, and she is just stunning, or it could be part of the mate bond driving me towards her. Her eyes are closed, and she looks like she is sleeping peacefully, but I know that her landing knocked her out. This is all my fault, and shame washes over me again. I told you that our mate would be perfect for us. You didn't listen to me and now look at where we are. Our mate really hates us, and from what I am getting from her wolf, we will never be allowed to be with our mate. You have ruined everything, all because you wanted more. I guarantee you now, just like I told you when that hussy came with her offer, you should have waited for our mate. Now it is too late. I swear to you, Justin, I will pay you back for this, Lorne told me and then faded away to the back of my mind. I can fix this. I used to catch her checking me out all the time when I was in my senior year. She was really pretty and very shy. She never tried to talk to me, only stealing glances occasionally when she thought that I wasn't aware of her looking at me. Her blushing when she got caught was charming and sweet, and if she had been anyone else but who she was, I would have accepted her wholeheartedly. But she is an outcast, she is not worthy of me, and I cannot allow myself to be pulled down because I got dealt a bad mate. Reagan was right, we will have strong, attractive pups. We will run this pack well together, and that will be that. Maybe Raven will stop being mad at me in a year. I am sure that I can make her see the value of being my girlfriend. I had not thought about this before, but my running my fingertips on her face to brush away her hair is causing strong tingles to happen. They are powerful and I cannot stop thinking about burying myself inside her to see if the tingles will be everywhere that I touch. I am getting hard just thinking about it, and I am glad to see that happen. When Raven fell from the tree, I instantly softened up upon catching her scent. I couldn't continue to have sex with Reagan anymore, as I knew it was the wrong thing to do. Reagan was really pissed off that I stopped. It is almost like she wanted Raven to wake up from the pain that she would experience from our having sex again. I started to make plans. Maybe I can speak to Raven, take her for some coffee, and explain why it was better for me to the alpha. Then I can explain how we can continue our relationship together, without anyone else knowing about it, especially not Reagan. Reagan will then be Luna, and that should keep her happy. Plus, I knew about how she was, she liked the company of men, and would not be satisfied with just me for long. She was only loyal to me right now because we have a deal, and until it is complete, she is going to be the perfect mate. I am sure that the moment that the deal is done, she will probably go back to what she was doing before. A lot of other alphas have girls on the side. Even her own dad uses some of the willing women here in the pack to ease his needs. But with them being sisters, I think their family might have a problem with it. As long as I can trick Raven into doing it though, I am sure that I can keep it away from Reagan. I wouldn't have to reject Raven, and we could sleep with each other and be treated to the powerful feelings that come with being with your own true mate. I feel my pants getting really tight and I need to calm down. I also don't need Reagan to find out that her sister, who is just lying here on the ground breathing, is turning me on like this. It will not go over with Reagan very well. I may have to get Raven out of this pack, and maybe set her up in the human town in a nice apartment. I can take care of her, and we could have our own children. Maybe one day Raven and I could lead this pack. Especially after she has been gone for a while, and if her parents and sister are gone. You really are an it, especially if you think that Raven will ever fall for that. Or sleep with you after she caught you sleeping with her sister. You will not be getting a chance with her. Her wolf is strong and nothing I am saying is making a change in her opinion. You put your needs over ours. I don't get it, we were totally together about staying focused on finding our mates. It is absolutely disgusting to me what you did. If it didn't involve me being hurt in this too, it would almost be funny how bad you screwed yourself in this. Lorne mind-linked me. I can feel his disappointment, but what can I do? I made the deal already, there is paperwork completed on it. My hands are tied right now, there is nothing that can be done about it. When she wakes up you need to reject her, Reagan said to me, and that is all I can hear, repeating over and over again in my head. Lorne goes nuts and warns me that I better not. I am trapped. I don't know what to do, and I see Raven wake up. Seeing her beautiful eyes open, I cannot look away. How did I not notice how beautiful she was sooner? The first thing she did is move back away from me, which hurts. I was worried about her when she got hurt. I made a mistake, that happens. I made a bad decision and now it is affecting us both, and our wolves. I can hear Reagan yelling at her, but I am in a daze and not listening. Seeing her beautiful face, I wanted to mark her, not reject her. I cannot do this. I know I made a deal, but I am going to back out of it because I have changed my mind. I cannot hurt my mate like that. I will tell her what happened and hopefully, they will give me and Lorne another chance. We can leave this pack and go somewhere else, as long as we can stay together. We will be totally happy as long as we can get away from here. I will tell her, and she and her wolf will be happy with us again. I am going to choose her. I want Raven to be my mate. I am so thankful to the goddess for giving her to me. She is sweet and kind, and she would truly make the better Luna between her and Reagan. I turned to see the alpha couple arrive with some warriors and I realized that Reagan was clearly trying to get Raven in trouble, and potentially hurt. I just can't allow that. I will have to be the voice of reason if I need to be, and then the unexpected happens. Raven just shreds out of her clothes into a very large black wolf, her emerald green eyes look at us. Her eyes don't carry a shred of fear. I know that I am not the only one who cannot believe the sight in front of us. The wolf then turns and bolts away, and for a few seconds I am still sitting here in shock. I notice that everyone is now phasing into their wolves and chasing her. I won't let them hurt her. My large dark grey wolf was the last one to leave the glade, but the closest one to her when she easily sails over the border into Bloodwalker territory. I wanted to follow her, and keep her safe, but as soon as we phase back into our human side, Reagan grabs my arm and starts smirking at Raven. She wants to piss her off and make her jealous. I cannot stop staring at Raven as the arguing continues. I can only focus on her, she is in pain, and she needs me. I finally decided that I am going to phase back into Lorne and just go over the border myself. I see a tall, strong man approaching my mate as she turned and started walking away from us. I started listening then, as he is way too close to my mate, and I will not allow him to hurt her. I heard the threat in what he said, it was not hidden at all in his words. If I go over, he will kill me, and I know that he was not bluffing, especially when he threatened and taunted Alpha Sullivan to come on over himself. If he is willing to kill our Alpha, he won't hesitate to kill me as well. My heart is breaking as another man comes out of the dark, almost as big as the first man, and I can no longer see Raven anymore. They are protectively blocking her from our view. I have no idea if she is going to be safe or not. She could be RD by them or even killed, and I have no idea what is going on now. I should have been listening to what had been said, but after scenting Raven, I was completely hypnotized by her. Her family starts screaming horrible things at her. They are even threatening her. How did I not know she was living in this kind of situation? I cannot stop myself from calling out to her to come back. Reagan is furious and looking at me like she is about to lose her st. The Alpha is really angry, steam is almost coming off of him, and our Luna looks completely terrified. I don't know what their deal is, but the warriors are clearly upset. The cat is out of the bag now, and tomorrow, when the Alpha has the town hall meeting, the whole pack will know that Reagan and I lied to them about us being mates. Not one word of this gets out. Tomorrow at the town hall, I will be announcing that Reagan and Justin are true mates. If I hear of anyone finding out anything about them not being mates, I will tell you all until I find out who told. I will then have the guilty party's whole family killed. The pack needs to support its alpha couple. Do not think that I will let anyone off in this. I will note who was out here with us tonight. Do not let the secret get out, as it will be a death sentence. I will not allow dissension in my pack. You will all do as I say in this. I will also announce that Raven went mad, and trespassed onto the Bloodwalker's land, and that she was tragically killed. Do not contradict me when I do this, and we will get past it. No one really cares about Raven anyway. She is more trouble than she is worth, and I am finally glad to be rid of her. I am quite sure that they will take care of this mess properly over there. I have never seen a trespasser on Bloodwalker land not be dealt with. We won't be seeing Raven again, Alpha Sullivan said to the group. He is a monster. How did I not see this before? The pain in my heart at the thought of Raven being killed hurts me. He has us all thinking that he is a good leader, but he isn't, and neither is Reagan. I am tied up with them both now because I was not thinking properly before. I can't even blame it on them, as I wanted to sleep with Reagan, and I was ashamed to wait and see if Raven would be my mate. I have been blind this whole time. I am smarter than this, and I should have seen it. Just from how he treated and allowed the pack to treat Raven. She was a young innocent girl who was made to be abused in this pack, and that was never the right thing to do. The ranked wolves are supposed to protect the weaker pack members, and that includes Raven. As we head back to the pack house, Reagan keeps trying to hold my hand. We are taking our time walking back as we are all caught up in our thoughts. I shrug Reagan's hand off my chest and increased my pace. I am just as bad as them. I might have been tricked into it, but I know right from wrong. I wish I could go back and reject Reagan's offer. Gently, of course, and then I would be sure to be around Raven when she turned 18, so I could accept and mark her right then. I am screwed, and there is nothing that I can do about it. Justin, Reagan coos at me in a tone that earlier today would have got my blood flowing because she talks to me like that when she wanted to have S***X. I have been conditioned. I realize that now, and I feel sick about it. I need some time alone, Reagan. I will see you later on today, I told her, and watched as she rushed forward to try to touch me again. She was going to try to have S***X with me, to try to keep me under her power, but that ploy wasn't going to work anymore. The guilt that I was feeling was making me sick, and Raven is right. The moon goddess doesn't like us to change her carefully laid plans. She makes them for a reason, and there will be punishment for our actions coming to Reagan and me. Honestly, we earned whatever the punishment will be. I have a feeling I know what mine will be, a lifetime with a hateful shrew. I knew that she was like that before. Why did I allow her to con me into this deal? I watched as her father grabbed her wrist as she passed him and shook his head at her. He knew I needed some time alone. He also knew that I was absolutely trapped by the contract that I had signed. There was no escape for me, and he knew it. Chapter 8. Raven's POV. After the beta blocked me from the view of my family, I felt safer than I have for years. I was not completely scared of him, but then more warriors came out of the dark woods, and now I was scared. I hadn't even sensed them, but I know now that they were here. None of them had done anything to me, but years and years of what would befall anyone who trespassed onto Bloodwalker land is running through my head, and I am scared. I am so glad that they are not concerned about me, as they totally focused on my parents and the rest of the group at the border. I have to say that hearing the beta mock and threaten my father almost made me laugh out loud. I may not know how to fight, but the bold way they all stood there, almost challenging Silverblade to dare to come onto Bloodwalker's land. That let me know that if my father and the warriors did come over, they would not be returning to the Silverblade pack alive. I started edging off, and Emerald mind links me, Raven, stop. Do not run, we will be safe here. I promise you. None of those men hurt you, and they are all highly trained. If they wanted us dead, we would have been dead already. There were 2 warriors right there when we first came onto their land. Your parents have drilled fear into the whole pack to make sure no one ever came to this border. Don't you think it is weird that there is a 10-foot stone fence all around the perimeter of the Bloodwalker pack, but a shorter 6-foot fence only on the border to the Silverblade pack? Does that not strike you as odd? It doesn't matter, Emerald. We need to get somewhere safe. I just need to get away from all the packs and live in the human world. I just cannot trust other wolves. I know how they are now from how I was treated at Silverblade. I don't want to be bullied anymore. I just want to get away, I told her in our link and entered the tree line. I am thankful for her werewolf vision as I tried to be quiet as I made my way as quickly and quietly as I can. We were in total silence as I hurried along, coming to a stream, and I looked in both directions as I tried to find the shortest distance to jump across it. If you go down about 80 feet to your left, there is a little bridge that you can cross. If you are trying to keep from getting wet, I hear a deep voice right behind me and I jumped into the water, springing away from him in fear. I had no idea that he was that close to me. I never even heard him approach. I quickly turned around and I see 4 men standing there. Beta Timothy, with 3 warriors standing there behind him. I never heard one of them, and my heart is in my throat. They are well-trained warriors, and any one of them could have probably ended me and I would have never seen them coming. The beta was about 6'4" tall and was in great shape. I bet my thigh wasn't as big as one of his biceps. He had dirty blonde hair, and I could not tell what his eye color was as it is very dark out here in the forest. But I could see that he was an attractive man. I couldn't tell if he was in his late 30s or early 40s, but he had an air about him that let you know if you decided to engage with him, that it was probably going to be the last thing you did. He exuded confidence and security, and I could tell that Emerald trusted him. But she wasn't telling me why we could trust him yet. I will go with her on this, but I was not joking about getting out of here. I think that the best place for us would be for us to just go and live in the human city. Please don't hurt me. I am sorry I came on your land, but I had to come here to get away from them. I was going to be locked up, and most likely tortured. I already know that if I did make it past the TE when Reagan becomes Luna, her first act would be to have me killed. I wasn't going to die in that horrible pack, and I really don't want to die in this one. Please just let me go, I swear to you all, I won't ever come back here if you will just allow me to leave, I told the beta with my eyes full of tears. I prayed to the goddess that they will allow me this kindness. I was telling the truth. I won't come back, and I will not cause them any problems. I heard 3 growls as I was begging them to allow me to leave. I am a little scared that my time is now up. At least I will be dying here, and not at the hands of such evil people. I was trespassing, and this is going to be my punishment for it. At least my death will be quick, and probably more merciful than what I was going to receive at the Silver Blade Pack. No one here will be hurting you, Raven. Do not be afraid of us, we weren't growling at you, it was over the fact that you think that you would have been killed. You have been through enough. Please come with us to the pack house. You will stay with my family tonight, and we will get you situated when you wake up tomorrow. I have already linked my family and they will all be meeting us at the pack house. You are safe here with us. If you believe nothing else that I say, please believe that you are now safe, Beta Timothy told me. I keep my face neutral. I cannot trust complete strangers. I mean, look at what I had to endure from fellow packmates at Silver Blade, and I knew a lot of them. How could a stronger pack possibly be nicer to me? I will stay on guard, comply with their wishes, and then look for a way to leave. Okay, I won't cause any problems. I will follow you to the pack house. I did not mean any harm in trespassing. I was just trying to get away from them. I will apologize to the Alpha for my actions tomorrow after he returns. I hope he will also give me grace, I told them, and then fell in line. The Beta was in front, one warrior on either side of me, and one warrior bringing up the rear, walking about 8 feet behind me. I guess the other 2 warriors that had been there at the border, had been part of the patrol, and had stayed behind to continue their patrol, and probably to make sure no one from Silver Blade tried to sneak in here to retrieve me. They probably returned to their duties. I suddenly blush in shame as I realize that means that they heard the whole thing. The whole shouting match. I am so glad that we are in the dark right now, that it is so embarrassing. In my pack gossip runs rampant. I bet in the next 2 days everyone here in the pack will know my shame. I will be branded as someone that is unwanted, and I am already weak because I am not trained. That is something that wolves value above almost anything else: strength and beauty. Clearly, I am starting out on the wrong foot here, and tears start to fill my eyes. I can't hold back the small sob, and the Beta immediately stops walking and turns back to look at me. Are you hurt, Raven? Do you need to go to the pack hospital first? Beta Timothy asked me with real concern in his voice. He actually cares if I am injured, and that only ends up making me cry even harder. How is a stranger more concerned about me than my own family ever has been? The truth of that question, the reality of my family hating me, makes my tears break like a dam and fall down my face in fat tears as I continue to sob out my pain. I can see that the men beside me are really uncomfortable about how upset I am, and don't know what to do to help calm me down. I can tell by the way they are shifting around that they would like nothing better than to take off running and leave me to the Beta to deal with. They all look to be in their early 20s, and they clearly have no idea at all what needs to be done in this situation. Beta Timothy stepped up to me and pulled me into a tight hug and said, "Sweet girl, you have no reason at all to fear us. Everything is going to be okay, I swear to you on my life that it is going to be fine. You will find out tomorrow that everything is going to change for the better. I can honestly promise you that too. Do not worry about your safety. You will be safe here, no matter what you have been told about us." I nodded against his shoulder as he continued to hug me. I wanted him to know that I did understand what he was telling me. I am still crying my eyes out, so I cannot speak to be able to answer him. His kindness to me makes all I went through at the Silver Blade Pack even worse. They are my family, and yet never really cared for me. Maybe they just wanted, or expected to have one baby, and picked the one that looked the most like our mom. My black hair was more on my mother's side, as my maternal grandfather also had black hair. But Reagan looked just like Mom and my grandmother, with my father's eyes. I was just the extra, an expendable one. I cannot stop the tears as they continue to slide down my face. Beta Timothy seems to understand that I am not scared of them, and with his arm on my back to comfort me, continues on to the pack house again. I walked with him and felt like I could trust him completely. I see no deception in him, and a short time later we exit the forest and I see a massive pack house. It looks to be twice the size of the one at the Silver Blade. The massive stone structure looked formidable and old, like the building itself deserved respect. It was at least 6 stories high, and I could tell it was taken care of. You could see that the center and main part of the building were a lot older than each of the ends. They used a different color of stone as they increased the size of the pack house, adding the same length of the center part of the building onto each of the ends. They used a little darker stone on the ends which made the lighter center part of it, to draw the eye. There was a really nice and large light fixture that was lighting up the night, welcoming us to the main entrance. I saw 4 people standing there at the top of the stairs and I slowed my steps. I was not in a hurry to be meeting any more people, as that would increase my chance of someone bullying me, and I was okay with having to spend the night in a cell. I should be safe there, and I could phase into Emerald to stay warm. I have no idea why these people that I can now make out as 2 men, and 2 women, are even standing here for. Timothy, is everything okay? I hear one of the women call out to us. We are all okay, Amanda. We have a guest that will be staying with us tonight. If you and Stella could please take her up to our rooms and take care of her, I would appreciate it. She will need a bath, some clothes, and probably a little food as she is very thin. She will spend the night with Stella tonight. I don't want her to be alone, Beta Timothy called back to her as we started up the stairs. The 3 warriors who had been trailing us dropped off about 20 feet from the pack house and left, heading back out into the night. I can see the woman that is clearly his mate look at me in surprise, and I can tell that they are mind-linking each other, to discuss me. I could care less. I will be out of here later on today, or tomorrow, so I can take whatever happens to me while I am here. Amanda was very pretty with brown hair and bright blue eyes. She was almost 6 herself with a strong body that showed she trained hard. She is the beta female, and she has to be strong, but I could see her eyes looking at me with sympathy and care. I had to look away before I started crying again. I see a male standing there looking at me intently, and he never said a word to me. He looked to be in his mid-30s and had kind eyes. He didn't say anything to me, just nodded at me, and stayed at the back of the group. I guess he had received a heads up on our way back, as he had no reaction to me at all. The last guy looked either 19 or 20 years old. He was a big guy, who was about a half-inch shorter than the beta and looked like his twin. He just had his mother's brown hair and blue eyes. Now that we were in the light, I could see that the beta's eyes were a smoky gray color. The beta gave me a comforting smile, and then glanced over at his son and mind-linked him. His son was also very attractive and was looking at me as if he were trying to figure out a puzzle. The frown on his forehead was causing me to get worried. Is he going to be the one who decides that I need to go to the cells? I can see that out of the 4 people in this group on the porch, he likes me the very least. The girl next to him, however, is grinning at me in total happiness. She has brown hair and blue eyes, and looks just like her mother. Her build is the same as well. This family must train their butts off. I have never seen such a fit family. Just seeing them lets me know that the Silver Blade pack is in no way comparable to Blood Walker. I can see that the beta's son is still looking at me, and I made a mental note to be sure to avoid him while I am here. He clearly had something to say to me, and we don't even know each other, and I just want some peace. I don't want any problems, especially with someone who could clearly end me quickly with a snap to my neck. I am sure that he has his reasons. He seems like he is a nice person, the whole family seems nice. But I am just passing through here on my way to freedom. We don't need to become besties, I just want the shower that was promised, and some food would be nice. I wanted to sleep, and I don't care how small my room will be. I feel safer here than I ever felt at Silver Blade. But I am not going to be letting down my guard. I am not an IT. They could be trying to warm me up to lower my defenses, and I am not going to let anyone else hurt me anymore. I learned from my time at Silver Blade that no matter how nice you really are, you can't make people like you. I tried to do it every single day, and it never worked for me. I was an outcast, a reject, and no one wanted to have anything to do with me. It would have decreased their value in the pack standing if they had tried to befriend me. Reagan would have made very sure of that. That particular lesson was learned in grade school when any friend I made that day, would come back the next day and hurt me. Because of the lesson that they had been given at home when their parents found out that they were my friend. Reagan told Dad, and Dad would make the phone call that evening to speak to the parents. By the time I started middle school, I had given up. It is okay, I like to read, and I found friends in the books that I read. Stella, please take Raven up to your room and let her grab a shower, give her some of your clothes too. She doesn't have any, and some night clothes too. I will go make her something to eat in the kitchen and bring it up for her. I will take you out shopping tomorrow to replace them, so feel free to give her at least 3 outfits, Amanda told her daughter, and she gave me a warm smile as she turned to go get me something to eat. I could tell that she knew that I was still scared at being here and was just trying to bluff that I was calm. The beta, his mate, and his daughter are all really nice and don't worry me. But the 2 men did a little, and I reminded myself to stay vigilant, and pay attention. Even if I hadn't trained, if anyone attacked me, I would do my best to fight them. I have goals to go find a peaceful place to live, with no drama and no bullies. I feel like I am closer to living that dream now, than I ever have been. Chapter 9. Alpha Sullivan's POVSH. How could this have gone so f***ing wrong? I yelled out as I shoved all the paperwork off my desk in my fury. I stood in silence and watched as the pages all fluttered around, down to the floor. I really wish I hadn't done that now, I am not wanting to have to straighten that up. But I am pissed, and I need to take my anger out on something, or someone. I looked at Cassandra, and I could tell by the tears in her eyes that she was waiting on me to start screaming at her. After all, it is all her fault that this even happened. Graham, calm down. It is not all my fault, remember? You were the one who approached me, not vice versa, my mate tells me, and that does not calm me down at all. How could I have possibly known, Cassandra? I mean seriously, I am not a mind reader. I don't have visions, because if I did have them, we would not be together, I told her, and she gasped at the hateful comment. I acknowledge that it was a cold thing to say, but what else could I say? It was the truth, like it or not. She ended up being much more trouble than she was worth. I mean, don't get me wrong, she is really hot, and still has a great body to this day. If I am being honest, Cassandra has always been one of the most beautiful she-wolves that I have ever seen in my life. That is the main reason that I chose her to be my mate. But I have to say, our being together was a mistake, a big mistake, and the goddess has surely punished us for it, for over the last 18 years. If I had it to do all over again, knowing what I know now, I would not make the same choice again. Graham, UAE. Why do you lay this at my feet every single time? We made the decision, you approached me, not the other way around, Cassandra said, and I watched her as she keeps motioning between us. Yes, I am just as culpable as she is in this, but I already know that the penalty and punishment that is coming won't be even distributed between us. I know that when the hammer finally does drop, the full weight of it will probably fall on me, and it wasn't totally my fault. I did not have the full story or information that I needed to make a wise decision. I will remind him of that when he does come to us to hash this out. I will make sure that my chosen mate is right there with me, as she knew the whole story, and never once thought to tell me anything before she took me up on my offer. Flashback: I am at the Werewolf Fall Ball for the 6th time in a row, and frankly, at 22, I am getting sick of coming to them. I have been trying to politely excuse myself from all the unmated she-wolves who wanted to touch me to see if there were sparks between us, in hopes that I am their mate. I cannot keep the disgust off my face. I already know how these women are not mated, they are either sluts, or unattractive. I already know that after this drink, I am getting out of here, and never returning. There is no point in it. These women are the bottom of the barrel, and I would have more luck visiting allied packs and seeing if I cannot find a mate there. None of the women that I have seen tonight are acceptable to me at all. I put my drink down on the bar and turned to head out to my car when I saw a beauty sitting all alone at a table. She looked upset, and I couldn't get over to her fast enough. I picked up her hand and gently kissed the inside of her wrist, and although I knew we were not true mates, I was good with us being chosen mates. I would not mind waking up next to this stunner for the rest of my life. My name is Graham Sullivan, Alpha of the Silver Blade Pack. Why are you all alone over her in the corner? You look like you are upset. Why are you crying? Did someone do something to you? I will take it upon myself to defend you and your honor if you need help, I told her, and she gave me a smile, but it didn't quite go to her eyes. I don't want to accept my true mate. I just met him tonight, but he isn't what I wanted. I don't want to be tied down in a broke pack. I want to be able to go on trips and be able to fully enjoy my life. Not have to work hard my whole life until I fall out and die from it, she told me, and my smile grew bigger. I glanced down at her neck and saw that she wasn't marked yet. I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone for this one, and was glad to be able to do it. I didn't care who her mate was, she was mine now. Well then, I have good news for you, beautiful. I happen to be looking for my mate. If you are okay with being my chosen mate, I will mark you right now. He has not marked you yet, correct? I asked her, and she shook her head no. I have money, and I would love for you to be my mate. Just tell me if you are accepting to becoming chosen mates, and being faithful to me. We will need to act as a true mate couple, and I will take you from here, and you can have whatever you want in life. Cars, jewels, designer clothes, whatever your heart desires, I will fulfill all your needs. All you have to do is say yes, and I will mark you, and then you can mark me back. We will be together until death takes us, I told her with my patented smile, which has worked every time I have used it. Her smile was brilliant, and I knew I had her before she said, yes, please mark me. I will be your chosen, and I will make sure that you are happy for the rest of your life. She leaned her head over and I sank my teeth into her marking spot, and she groaned before it turned into a small moan. I could hear a howl of pain coming from outside, and I knew we had to move fast because her true mate could mark her over mine and it would take away my mark from her neck. Time was of the essence, so I tore open the top of my button-down tuxedo shirt to expose my marking spot to her, and she immediately sank her teeth into me, marking me as hers. I was blissfully happy about this turn of events. I have a gorgeous mate, and my only thoughts now were to get her out of here, so we could complete this fully and mate her. This will complete our acceptance of each other, and we would be completely bound together from now on. Oh yeah, and she was going to have to find her loser mate and tell him that he was rejected. I was almost laughing about it because I was the strongest alpha here tonight. There were only 3 other alphas here tonight, and I have sparred with them all. I am sure that she got a beta or a gamma, there were plenty of them in this place, and that explained why he was broke. With as beautiful as she is with her long blonde hair and her big blue eyes, she truly looked like a living doll. I am quite sure he will be furious at losing her, but he should have marked her when he found her. That is on him for being an IT. He should have valued his mate, but now he lost her. I am sure if he gets blessed with a second chance mate, if he is lucky enough to get one, then he will seal the deal quickly and not give them time to find another mate. We are heading for the door of the venue when I see an alpha from a neighboring pack hit the door frame and have to grab it for support. I recognized him from a distance, and I now have a really bad feeling about this. Cole Walker is not weak, and I cannot beat him. I am the IT. Why didn't I ask? Hell, I didn't even ask her for her name. I was so excited about getting her to agree with me and trying to get her to accept me quickly, I skipped getting any background. I do not want to go to war with him over this. Why didn't I ask her who her mate was? We might be able to escape here with our lives only because he is severely weakened from his mate being marked by another, while they are still bound. We need to get out of here, right now. I mind-linked my beta and told him to bring the SUV around. I also told him to have the 2 warriors we brought with us to be ready for anything. My beta, Randolph Evans, was immediately on alert, and as we passed Cole at the door, he tried to reach out for her, and I jerked her away from him. I pushed her towards the exit doors, and then kicked him after he fell to the ground. He was already off balance from reaching out for her and trying to stop her from leaving. I wasn't thinking about anything else but getting us out of there before Cole recovered. I wasn't able to beat him in a fair fight, and I was worried about him killing us, and wanted to leave, and quickly. It was a done deal. I had marked her, and she had marked me. Nothing but death would be separating us. He showed up at the gates to Silver Blade the next day, demanding that she come out and accept his rejection. I thought about turning him down, but the fewer people who knew about what happened last night was for the best. I knew that I was going to introduce her to my pack as my true mate, as they valued true mates for their alpha. Everyone knew that having them makes you stronger for it. We become better versions of ourselves. We get smarter, markedly stronger, and able to effectively take better care of our pack. Each pack wanted its alpha to find their true mate. It just made sense and would be a comfort to the pack. So, I didn't mind lying to them about it. I sent the gate guards away as I wanted to do this with as little company as we could get. I could always alpha command them, but it would just be better for the whole pack to just believe that we were true mates. Cole was furious, and after the rejection was done, he looked at me and said, "If she is pregnant with my child, I will want my child. I refuse to let you two raise them. The goddess will not be able to help you if you keep them from me." He then turned and left us, and I couldn't help but look at Cassandra, who looked guilty, and then shrugged like she forgot to pick up bread at the store. This was not some small, oops, this was serious. I was stunned. Cassandra never mentioned the first thing about having slept with him last night. I am an IT. That would have been another good question to ask. Like, "Hey, I remember you said you met your mate tonight, did he happen to trip?" And his DCK fly up in you is now at the top of the list of questions to ask. If only I could get a redo on that fateful day. I had slept with her as soon as we got home. I was happy with my choice, and we fit together nicely. I had been thrilled about finding her, even with the shadow of Cole looming over my head. After I just found out that she had had S*X with him last night after finding him, I was furious with her. She never mentioned that either. I didn't speak to her for a month, right up until I found out that she was pregnant. I was so proud that my mate was about to bear the heir to the pack. I could not be happier. The following month we found out that we were having twins. I got even happier. I really was happy that I managed to give her twins right off the bat. They do not run in my family, so I really felt virile for having given my mate twins. I felt like the goddess was blessing our union. They were both girls, but I felt sure that the next pregnancy would indeed result in a boy. That way, if the girls left the pack to become Lunas, or beta females, my son could take over. We were very happy throughout the pregnancy. Everything was absolutely perfect until she gave birth. I remember seeing that dark head of hair and my stomach sank. I knew before she even opened her eyes what had happened. Sure enough, those piercing green eyes stared up at me, and I was furious. Furious at Cole, furious at Cassandra, and furious at this new bane of my existence. I never once thought of giving her to him. Since I had to suffer from just seeing her every day, she would be suffering too. I even named her Raven, for her black hair. I was going to give myself reminders of why I hated her, each and every day. Our second child was definitely mine, and I could sense that, even before I saw her sparkling blue eyes that matched mine. I was very happy with her. It was love at first sight. I gave her anything, and everything that she ever wanted, and was glad to dote on her. We tried and tried for another child. Cassandra was never able to get pregnant again. I tried with other women too, just trying to get a son, but I could not get anyone pregnant. I felt the goddess was cursing us, for Cassandra rejecting her true mate, for me stealing someone else's mate, and probably for allowing Raven to be mistreated in my pack. I knew this was the case because Cassandra and I have gone to different doctors several times. There was nothing wrong with either of us. Everything was normal after we had been thoroughly tested. But still, I could not get her, or anyone else, pregnant. Cole on the other hand found his second chance mate 2 months later at a winter ball held up in another region. His mate's name was Olivia, and she gave him 2 strong male pups. This fact only made me madder. I had toyed with the idea of giving Raven back to him on her first birthday, but just knowing that he had been blessed with 2 male pups during their first year together, angered me. He already had 2 sons, he didn't need this daughter. Why should he get to be blissfully happy when I couldn't? I didn't think that it was fair, so I kept his child here. Making her pay the price for him sleeping with my chosen mate, made me less angry about the whole thing. I couldn't take it out on them, so I found a way to make it work out for me. It comforted me to know that I had his child here and that he had no idea she even existed. Then I could take my anger on the whole situation out on her. I realized that it was not actually Raven's fault. Cassandra and Cole were true mates, and it is natural to want your mate. The passion and desire are there, and we as wolves have a natural animal instinct. We enjoy sex a lot and cannot resist the call of our true mates. The bottom line was that I should have asked Cassandra something, anything. At the very least her name, who her mate was, and most importantly for me to ask if she had already mated with her true mate after she found him. Cassandra should have told me, but she honestly didn't think that the first time she had sex would result in her getting pregnant. A lot of mistakes were made in one night to get us here. But the blame truly lay with Cassandra and me. But how could I punish me or her about? I didn't care enough to ask, as long as I got the prize I wanted. Once a year had passed without us giving Raven up, it was best for us if Cole never found out about Raven. So we were trapped. We decided then and there that she could never be seen outside of the pack. Cole would not take it well, and I think that he always suspected that one of the twins might have been his. For the whole 18 years, only one of them has ever been seen, and we have only claimed Regan as ours. But he didn't know for sure, as Raven was never allowed to leave the pack. I didn't need a local seeing her and Cole finding out that I had a child that happened to look just like him. There would be too much to explain, so I kept her hidden away all these years here at Silver Blade. When Regan tried to kill her, I did have to have a talk with her. I warned her that she could never do it again, and Raven made very sure to never be alone with her twin ever again either. But since no one important had even seen her, and the pack couldn't stand her, I let the Werewolf Council know that one of my twins died from an accident that day before Raven even left the hospital. That way only Regan was recognized as the heir to my pack. I was not going to let Cole's daughter be allowed to take my pack over. She was not my daughter, and I was not going to just hand my pack over like that. My pack was always going to go to Regan, no matter what I have told Silver Blade throughout the years. Flashback ends. Graham, we are in this together, honey. We can explain it if it gets found out. They have no way of knowing who she is. We never told. Just calm down, we will wait and see what happens. I don't think that there is a reason to panic just yet. We will get our stories straight on it. Remember, my father had black hair. We can say that we thought she got her hair from him. It isn't over, just calm down. Cassandra put her arms around me and gave me a hug. I take a deep breath and hugged her back. I do love her, and she loves me. What started out as just being a good deal between us, became a lot more in our almost 19 years together. I will stay calm and see how this plays out. I will not let our reputations be tarnished. I will not let her leaving the pack be a bad thing. I have been waiting for years to get rid of her, and I am actually glad that I won't have to see her face again. I chose wrong all those years ago. I would have had a much happier life if I had just done what Cole said and just given him his child. Chapter 10. Raven's POV. I have never met a nicer girl in my life. Stella can totally run a conversation all by herself. She was so excited about the sleepover that we were going to have, and she doesn't even know me. How could she be this happy at having me sleep in her room? I was still trying to make plans to get away when we got to the elevator to go up to the 5th floor. I gave up hope of escaping when I saw that the top 2 floors could only be accessed by thumbprints. I would not be able to use the elevator, as even coming down the elevator or the stairs, you still had to scan your finger to gain access. This was a security measure that was installed in case someone did manage to get up to the 5th or 6th floor. They might be able to get up there, but they won't be coming down unless they have a ranked wolf with them. Stella seems to be very happy at me coming up to her room. I have to say it was as bright and cheerful as she was. I was also very jealous of her room. My room was painted white. I had a bed, a desk, and a chair. That was it, and my attached bathroom was also white with only the basics inside it. I had shampoo, conditioner, and body wash in the shower. I had my hairbrush, toothbrush, and toothpaste, as well as my hair ties in there. I didn't have a blow dryer or curling iron. Dad said that was a want, not a need. I knew that Regan has painted walls, and a ton of furniture, as I had seen a little of her room when she left the door open, and I couldn't resist looking in to see what the room looked like. She even had a really pretty comforter in her room. I tried to not be jealous of all that Regan had been given throughout the years, but it was impossible. Great, now I am upset again. I just want my shower and to go to bed. I am fighting off tears, and Stella is calling to me from inside her closet as she is finding clothes for me. I looked up when she stopped talking, and I look up to see her right in front of me with an armful of clothes. She is 5'11", and we are about the same size, so I should be able to wear her clothes. I am only an inch taller than her. I see her eyes soften up as she turns to look at me after putting the clothes on the bed for us to go through. Don't cry, Raven. I am so sorry that you have had such a hard night. You will be safe here. I heard Dad tell you that, and my father does not lie. You are safe here, you don't have to worry about anything. Come with me, Stella tells me and pulls me to her bathroom. I look around in amazement. Her bathroom is huge, and she has a tub in here as well. My room only has a shower and I have never taken a bath, but I have seen pictures of them in decorating magazines, and I would love to take a bath before I leave. Stella sees me looking at her bath, and smiles at me as she waited for me to ask to use her bathtub, but I didn't want to ask. I don't want to bother her, and a shower is great too. After a minute she couldn't stand it any longer. Would you prefer a bath, instead of a shower, Raven? My tub is great, it is deep and helps with my sore muscles after training. I got the one with the shower head on it, so if I wanted to wash and condition my hair, I could do it a lot easier than putting my head under the faucet like when I was a kid. I will get it started for you. Stella starts the water and then has me come over to test it after it heated up. I made it a little hotter and stepped back. I was going to stay in the water for as long as I could, so I made it hotter than usual. She actually had the perfect temperature going when she asked for my input. Stella was grabbing all kinds of stuff from her shower and putting them on the little stand next to the tub. She was happy to bring all of it, even if I didn't know what most of it was. I started looking at each one and reading the labels to see what all she had. Stella then asked me, "Do you need a razor, Raven? Or are you good for tonight?" "What?" I asked her, turning around to look at her. She has her arms inside a small closet in the bathroom and pulls two fluffy white towels out, and then repeats her question, "Do you need a razor for your legs or underarms?" "I don't know. I have never used one before," I told her. "I have no idea how to even use one." I see Stella frown, and then ask, Raven, how old are you?" "I turned 18 over 2 months ago," I told her and continued to read the directions on the bubble bath that I am holding. I wished that I had read it earlier. The tub is almost full, and this smells so good. I would have liked to use it, maybe I will for the next bath. "Raven, can you show me which of these products you know how to use in this bathroom?" "Just put them here on this stool," Stella asks me and slides another little stool up to the stand that she had put the items from the shower on. I wander around looking at her stuff, and then put the 6 things: shampoo, conditioner, body wash, brush, toothbrush, and toothpaste onto the stool. I heard Stella ask softly, "Is that all? No hair dryer? Or anything else?" I looked around again and grabbed the bar of soap out of her shower and said, "I know what this is too. I also know that I can use my shampoo as a body wash if they forget to give me another body wash after I run out of it." "Okay, that is great, Raven," Stella tells me and then starts to back out of the room. "I will give you your privacy, and you can take your time in the bath. This end of the floor belongs to the Beta family. No one else is allowed to come up here, starting with the 4th floor, for the Gamma and his family, so we are in a secure area. I will give you a full tour tomorrow after breakfast. Mom said she was making you a sandwich and I will have her put it in a baggie, so it doesn't get hard. So, go ahead and take your time, I will see you when you come out. Call me if you need anything, Raven. I will be on the other side of the door, in my room." The door closed and I walked over and set the lock in place. I breathe a sigh of relief for some solitude. I am not used to dealing with or speaking to people. Most people don't want to speak to me, and teachers didn't call on me. I was just kind of ignored, like I was invisible for the most part. It was a little overwhelming with Stella, but I know that she was trying to keep my mind off of tonight, or actually this morning. I quickly stripped down and put my leg over the side of the tub. I guess I got in it wrong. I wanted to be facing away from the shower. There is nothing to look at in that direction. I turned around and eased into the tub. I was sitting straight up, and it took me a few minutes to realize that I could lean back, as the hot water made the tub very comfortable, and not cold to touch. I can't stop the sigh that escapes, as this is really nice. A happy memory for me to think back on. I grab the soap and start cleaning myself after lying there enjoying being surrounded by the warm water for 5 minutes. There was just something comforting about it that really relaxed me. I know that I need to get going, as they will be waiting on me, and I don't want to upset them. They have been so nice to me, and I want to be a good guest, and not make them sorry for taking me in for the night. I scrubbed up quickly and then turned on the handheld nozzle like Stella showed me and got it to a warm setting so I could wash my hair. It was just like in my shower. Her shampoo and conditioner smelled great, and I was really enjoying being able to use her stuff. I was rinsing my hair when I realized I was crying. I had kind of zoned out while leaving the conditioner in, and the next thing I know there was a tear running down my cheek. Stella has been nicer to me than anyone I have met in the last 8 years. I hope she doesn't hear about what happened at the border and then decides that she doesn't want to be my friend in the morning. I really liked her and wanted to be friends with her. After rinsing out the conditioner from my hair, I then rinsed my face off with water to try to cover up the fact that I had been crying. It is no big deal. Maybe I can get her address or phone number to keep in contact after I leave here. That thought brings me joy, and I contain the tears. I didn't want her to worry about me. I dried my hair with the towel, and then dried myself off, before wrapping the towel around me and unlocking the door. I only had that t-shirt to wear, and I had put it in the hamper before my bath. I will be sure to tell them that it belongs near the border. I stepped into Stella's room and stop when I see beta female Amanda sitting there speaking to her daughter. I didn't want to interrupt but needed some night clothes. They stopped speaking and Stella grinned at me and got up from her bed. Mom brought you a sandwich, a bag of chips, and a drink. Let me grab you some night clothes, and Mom had a new pack of underwear that she had picked up for me. I shower twice a day, and I go through a lot of clothes, so whenever there is a sale, Mom grabs a pack. I call it frugal, not cheap, beta female Amanda said to me and gave me a wink, making me smile at her. I appreciate it. Thank you, I told her and looked at the folded clothes on the bed. It looks like they were out here folding the clothes that Stella had pulled out to give me. There were several outfits together from all the stuff that Stella pulled from her closet. That was really thoughtful of them, and they were some nice clothes. There were 2 boxes of shoes laying on the bed, and when Amanda saw me looking at them, she motioned towards them. One is a size 10, and the other is an 11. I know with being tall our feet are usually longer. We are tall too, and these were the new pairs that we have. What size do you wear, honey? I wear a 10.5, but you don't have to do all this for me. I will apologize to the alpha for trespassing when he comes back. I was planning on going to live in a human city. I will not go back to the Silver Blade pack. I don't want to cause any problems here for your pack. I just want a chance at a peaceful life, I told them, and I see Amanda get up and give me a light hug. She turns away from me, but I saw tears in her eyes. She tried to hide it by crossing the room to a dresser and then coming back with a pair of socks. She is looking down at the bed at the clothes and then started moving the piles out of the way. It is about 2:30 in the morning, and we are all tired. Stella comes up with about 3 night outfits. 2 nightgowns, and one camisole set. I grabbed one of the nightgowns and headed back into the bathroom. They were speaking quietly between them when I came back out. Amanda gave me my plate, and I unwrapped my sandwich quickly. I didn't get much at dinner last night, and I was starving. It could also be from the extra exercise that I got letting Emerald out last night too. I drank my drink and left the bag of chips. I haven't had chips before, and I was full anyway. Raven, I will hope you would give this pack a chance. I think you will fit in perfectly here. Don't get in a hurry to leave. You can always get a job and stay here, work for our pack. You would not be protected in the human world. It is a dangerous place, especially for a woman alone. Just rest tonight, and we can talk about it tomorrow when we get up. Don't worry about setting an alarm. Stella can sleep in with you as well. I am giving her tomorrow off of training to help get you acclimated to Blood Walker. We can talk later on today after you get up. I can tell that you are exhausted, so get some sleep, girls. Stella, please do not talk her ear off all night, you both need the rest, Amanda told us with a smile. She walked to her daughter who was walking up to the bedroom door. Amanda gave her a kiss on her forehead and a hug before leaving the room. I feel my eyes burn again, as I acknowledge that I want that. I want to be kissed goodnight by someone who loves me. Who am I kidding? I just want someone, anyone, to love me. Someone to care what happens to me, and to keep me from harm. Someone I can depend on. I have to turn away from Stella as I do not want her to see me crying. It seems like all I can do right now, and I am doing a good job of being silent when Stella steps up next to me. I don't usually cry, for anything, but in the last few hours, I have cried several times. I had turned away from her when my eyes started burning. I didn't want to embarrass myself. Stella gives me a side hug, and tells me, "You are staying with me." I am so excited to be getting to have a sleepover. I don't get to do this much, so I am sorry that I am so excited about it. Some of the girls try to befriend me to try to hook up with my brother, so I just stay to myself for the most part. But you are not like them. I saw how my brother, Joshua, was frowning at you. I can see you didn't like his bad attitude, me either. He is good friends with Carter and is already his regular jerk self. You can sleep in my bed. It is a king size, and we will both have plenty of room. I can also make up my couch, but that is less fun. We can talk to each other about our favorite things and play 20 questions. I read a lot about fun games to play for sleepovers when I googled it while you were in the bathroom. I can sleep on the couch, it is no problem. It is your room, and I am the guest. I really don't mind doing it, I tell her, and I realized that her going on and on got me past my pity party. Stella is distracting me and trying to make me happy, and she is the nicest person that I think I have ever met. I am already more comfortable around her than anyone else I have ever been around. I was jealous seeing her mother being so nice to her, wishing that I had been able to have that too. My mother had never kissed me, or hugged me, not even when I was in the hospital after being pushed off the bridge. My mother was very formal with me, she was even kind of formal with Reagan, that is just how she is. I couldn't stop myself from resenting my parents even more. Why did the goddess allow them to be my parents? Why couldn't I have been born into a nicer family? No, you are my guest, and I want you to get to sleep in my bed, Stella dug in and told me. She went to the bathroom and plugged in a nightlight before turning out the light in the bathroom. She then motioned to the bed as she turned out the light in the room, and it was pretty dark in her. Stella got in on her side and then said, "So Raven, what is your favorite color?" before she laid down and turned towards me to hear my answer. My favorite color? I don't know, I have never thought about it, I told her. Well, think about it. I will tell you mine. I like emerald green the best. I have a lot of shirts in that color. I will see if you want some of them tomorrow, as I bet that they are going to make your eyes pop, Stella tells me. I can't even figure out what color I like still, and Stella is just going on. Emerald is my wolf's name, I tell her absent-mindedly as I keep thinking about my favorite color. That is a beautiful name, Stella said, and I can feel Emerald in my mind happily wagging her tail at the compliment. I guess I like the color of that blue and green color water in the Caribbean. I have seen a lot of pictures of it in books and magazines, and there is something so calming about it. It is just beautiful and so clear it lets you can see so far down. I don't know the name of it, but that is the color I like the best, I told her. Stella continues on with her questions, only stopping because I fell asleep on her. I am exhausted. Stella told me about her high school, the boy that she has a crush on, the girls she doesn't like at school, and the fake girls that hang out with her brother and Carter because they want to be chosen to be their mates. I finally just fell asleep on her. I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. I needed some good rest. Maybe tomorrow will be better than I think it will. I will give it a chance. I can always just see how it goes. I might be able to learn a new trade here, one that can benefit me if I do have to leave. I fall asleep to new possibilities on the horizon and a more positive outlook for me. No matter what, right now I am in a better place than I was. I just hope it all ends up working out for me. Chapter 11. Alpha Cole Walker getting a call at 6 a.m. from my beta letting me know that a problem had arisen in the pack, woke me up quickly. Timothy doesn't panic. He always deals with the problems and rarely calls me for anything that wasn't really serious. I was already fully awake as I got up from the bed. I didn't want to wake Olivia up. Hang on a minute while I go into the hallway, Timothy, I asked him quietly as I crossed the room. We were not going to get up until around 8 a.m. this morning, as we would be leaving here around noon. We were about a 6-hour flight away from the pack right now, and I had planned on not rushing and getting back to Bloodwalker tonight. We had flown in to visit my wife's family in Minnesota. Our oldest son had just turned 18 last week, and his grandparents wanted to celebrate his birthday, and let him check and see if his mate might be in their pack. He was disappointed that he had not found her yet, and he made sure that he spoke to all the unmated wolves. I had drilled into him how important it was to be with his true mate. My wife as well. Carter, and our younger son, Austin, were both aware that their father and mother and both been rejected by their true mates. They didn't believe it at first. We are both very attractive, but she was rejected because he had been dating his girlfriend for the last 4 years and wanted her instead. The girlfriend was pregnant with his child at the time, so he rejected Olivia very quickly over it. A few months later he found out that the pup was not his, and tried to get her back, but she was with me by that time. His loss is my gain. I was rejected because I had overextended myself as I was expanding my pack house and was broke at the time. Not broke, but I took my budget seriously and I need the pack funds to stay at the proper levels. I didn't want to overextend with the expansion. She immediately asked for a new car, a Mercedes SUV, and a new wardrobe. Which was fine, but I told her she was going to have to wait to get them. I meant a month or 2 but didn't specify that, as I never expected her to be picked up by another alpha in the 5 minutes I had stepped out of the venue. Apparently, my IT mate thought that I was going to continue to be broke and wanted someone who could take care of her better than me, and Graham just happened to show up to sweep her off her feet. I should have thanked him for doing it though. Someone that shallow and greedy is not someone that I want to be tied to for the rest of my life. I just couldn't believe that she would sleep with me, then allow Graham to sweep in and steal my mate right out from under me. Almost quite literally. I mean, we had just slept together. I still remember the pain of it, of my mate being marked by someone else while we still had the bond. She didn't reject me first, which is what is supposed to happen. The laws are in place for a reason, because something like that could kill a weaker wolf. They were sneaky and did it in the most painful way that they could, so it couldn't be reversed. I was actually glad that the trash took itself out with them doing that. I ended up getting Olivia out of the deal, and she is wonderful. I didn't hate them anymore, they just both disgusted me. They are still together, so I guess they do care for each other. I stay away from their pack, and they stay away from mine. My only worry was for my offspring. I have worried about that for years. We were true mates, and we went at it twice in a row. I was pretty sure that I had gotten her pregnant. That was the only thing that I had asked of them, was for my child. That if she was pregnant with my child, I wanted to raise them myself. But I have only seen that little blonde she-devil they had. They had twins, but no one would tell us what the other twin looked like. I was worried for years, and then we heard that the other twin had been killed in some kind of accident. But it has been over 18 years, no one had ever seen any trace of the other twin in all 18 years. It was like she was a ghost. "What's up, Timothy?" I asked him in a low tone. I didn't want to wake everyone up, so I was trying to be quiet. "I didn't want to call you when it happened this morning, I tried to let you sleep, but this was really important. We had an issue at the border with Silver Blade. I don't want to tell you all of the details over the phone. I need you to just stay calm and come back as soon as you can. We are handling everything, but long story short, I threatened to kill Alpha Sullivan, and Cole, I really wanted to. Our worst fears for the last 18 years were true," I heard Timothy say, and I dropped my phone on the floor and had to grab the wall to catch myself in shock. I can hear Timothy calling out to me from my phone, as rage sears right through me. "Those bastards! I warned them both, I told them if she was pregnant with my child to turn them over to me, and they dare to hold them from me, for 18 years. I will kill them both. I am breathing hard, and cannot catch my breath." I heard the door to my room open, and then I feel my mate's calming touch. I cannot speak to her, but she knows whatever the problem is, that it is indeed a pretty big problem. Olivia leans down after she gets me calm and picked up my phone. I couldn't speak, so she speaks to Timothy. Once Timothy called Olivia's name out in their conversation, I knew that Amanda relieved him of the phone. I see her eyes fly up to mine. I watched her eyes fill with tears as she listens to what Amanda is telling her. I can't make out exactly what Amanda is telling her, but I know it is bad. My Luna is a strong woman. For her to be reacting like this, she is trying to keep me from losing control and tearing the place up. I feel the tingles on my back as she gives me a hug and rubs my back to keep me calm. I see her eyes go to Flint, and I know that it is time to get back and head back now, as I heard Olivia tell Amanda that we would be there as soon as we could. I told her to go ahead and start packing, and I went to go wake up our boys. Carter was already up and coming out of his room, with Austin exiting his room about 30 seconds later. I didn't tell them anything other than the fact that we were leaving in 10 minutes and to get packed and ready to go now. As alpha children, they know the deal. You can never tell when an emergency is going to happen, and they need to stay as packed as they can, so we could roll out quickly if we needed to. I went back to my room and changed into the clothes that Olivia had laid out for me at the end of the bed. I had just put my shoes on when a knock sounded at the door. I open it and am surprised to see Olivia's dad in the hallway. "I am taking you all to the airfield. I already called and got your plane topped off and had them call your pilot and team into the hangar for you. You should be ready to go once we get there. They should all be arriving soon, David told me, and I cannot express how much it means to me for him to be helping us. David Turner is the former Alpha for the Storm Shadow Pack here in Minnesota. He is still as sharp as when he was the Alpha, but he and his wife Ellen are really enjoying their retirement. They found each other later in life and were 30 when they had Olivia, and 40 when they had Paul. There is a total of 10 years between them. Paul is the new Alpha for the pack. His Luna is Aaron, and they have 2 children right now, Jacob who is 7, and Dorothy, who we call Dottie who is 4 years old. Thank you so much for getting us to the airfield. I cannot seem to focus on anything right now, David. I feel like something is really off with me, I told David as we rolled the bags out to the waiting SUV. I see my sons hugging their grandmother goodbye and her giving Olivia one last hug. You are the best man for my Olivia. So, you are already like a son to me. It is my pleasure to be able to help, and we will be sure to come and visit when things get settled back down at Bloodwalker. Go ahead and get in, I will just kiss Ellen really quick, and we will head out, David tells me, and I walked up to the front passenger seat. I am really struggling right now. I feel weak and ineffective. I doubt that I could even have driven us to the airfield. I get buckled in and David jumps in and takes off. I heard the boys asking Olivia questions, and she is putting them off. I know that she doesn't want to discuss this in front of her father, but it is okay. He is going to know sooner or later. I turned around to nod at her and let her know that I was okay with her telling them right now. Do you remember Daddy having a true mate before me? We have told you both what happened to us, so you could both be wary of a bad match. Well, we just found out that your father's first mate did indeed have his child. She was kept hidden from us all these years. She has not had a good time of it, and she will need time to come to terms that she has 2 half-brothers, a stepmother, and a dad that she never knew about. I will need you to be kind to her, she had been through more than we know. We will discuss it on the plane, but I hope that you will both treat her well. She already wants to leave, she is skittish and fearful. We want her to stay for as long as she needs, Olivia told them. My head flew up when she said that she has not had a good time of it. I knew what that means. Olivia had spent her life downplaying things when she thinks that I will lose my temper. I try to force myself to relax. I can't hear anything else bad about what she went through until we land in Oregon. I know that she is mine because Timothy told me that she is. I already know that I won't need a DNA test. Timothy has the sharpest nose, and from what he was saying before I dropped my phone, she has my hair and eye color. I have to shut my eyes because I already know that Graham and Cassandra hurt her. They punished her for their wrong deeds, and I am going to kill them if they seriously hurt her. I feel Cassandra reach forward to touch my arm, and I calmed back down, but we can't get there fast enough for me. David pulled right up to the plane waiting on the runway. David and the boys help to unload the SUV and Olivia is with me as we go up the stairs of the plane. David waves us off as we taxi, and Olivia is sitting right next to me. As soon as we level off and she takes her seatbelt off and climbs into my lap. I swear to the goddess that Olivia always knows when I need her. My heart is aching for something that I tried my best to prevent. I told them to bring her to me, I warned them what would happen if they didn't. I don't know what I am going to do. I already feel like my heart is broken from losing out on seeing her for over 18 years. She is considered an adult now. I heard what Olivia said, she already wants to leave. I will be so upset if she gets angry with me for her having such a hard life. We had gone to bed late and got up early, so the boys had both realigned their seats and were already asleep. I reclined my seat and Olivia made herself comfortable on my chest, and I don't think that I would have been able to remain calm without her being here with me. She is my second chance mate, and without her, I would have lost my mind already. The whole flight crew knew to leave us alone, I am sure per Olivia's orders. Until I can see her and know for a fact that she is okay, I will not be able to calm down. I feel terrible that she had to live for 18 years with those two. I am going to put some thought into what I am going to do to them, but I want the whole story before I do. I am known for being cool-headed and strong. I don't make rash decisions. I think about what I need to do and figure out the best way to get it done. Timothy has been my best friend since 3rd grade when his family moved to the Bloodwalker pack. His father was an impressive beta, and Timothy is as well. I know his son Joshua will be just as effective when Carter takes over the pack after finding his Luna. I am finally able to shut my mind down and sleep. It seems like just a short time has gone by when I feel Olivia move off of me and I open my eyes to see the flight attendant standing there. I can tell we are descending, and I am glad that we are here. I knew Olivia had to get in her own seat and buckle up, but I already missed her. I held her hand and pulled it to my lips to kiss her wrist. She loves that, and I enjoy feeling her pulse jump every time I do it. She was the only reason that I am remotely calm right now. She is just as upset at what happened to my daughter as I am. Maybe even more than me, as clearly, she got more information from Amanda than I had been given. I am glad to see both boys up and awake, and Carter tells me that he has been up for an hour and had given our EDA to Timothy already. I am proud of him. He knows I need to get back to my pack as soon as possible. Everyone grabbed their bags and headed over to the SUV. I was expecting to see Timothy, but Joshua was in the driver's seat. I was surprised, but instead of asking Joshua why he was there, I just linked Timothy myself to find out. Timothy and Amanda were with Raven and Stella in the dining hall. I guess that makes sense. It was now 11 a.m. as we got 2 hours back on our flight home. Timothy didn't want to leave her but didn't mention why. I trust him with my life, and I know that I can trust him with my daughters as well. He is a father, he gets it. I leaned back in my seat and started to listen in on the conversation between Carter and Joshua when I freeze. What did I just hear Joshua just say? I am sorry, can you say that again? I asked Joshua. Joshua was keeping his eyes on the road and occasionally using the rearview mirror to look at Carter while he spoke. Sure, Alpha Cole. I was just telling Carter that he needs to take care of business when we get back to the pack house. Some girl showed up early this morning and she is telling Dad that she is your daughter. She has him totally fooled for some reason. She has no proof of it at all, so I don't believe her. I have a feeling that she is lying. I mean, she looks a little like you, Alpha Cole, but I think she is just taking advantage of her looks and trying to get some money out of our pack. She needs to just be sent on her way. I don't trust someone who shows up like that, out of the blue. I mean, she was obviously trying to seduce someone with how scantily she was dressed. Carter and I have to deal with this kind of stuff all the time. She only had a t-shirt on when she got to the pack house. I can tell she is just trying to run a con on us. I thought Dad would send her away this morning, but instead, he and Mom are staying with her, and Stella. Hopefully, Dad will wise up now that you are here and drive her out of the pack. Joshua repeated almost exactly verbatim of what he had said. It was all I could do to not reach over and punch him. He better be glad that he is driving the SUV, or I would have. Cole, honey, he doesn't the whole story. Only those most important to you do. He isn't trying to offend you, he feels like he is supporting Carter and Carter's position as the next alpha. You know that causes rifts in families. Those boys are still young, and you know that they try to fight, or bully their way through potential problems. It is what immature pups do. The more they know, the better they will do when they eventually do take over the pack. So, don't lose control, Cole. I love you and we will get this figured out and taken care of. I have a feeling that this will work out fine, and I am so excited to get to meet her. Amanda and I will be taking her and Stella shopping tomorrow. She needs a great many things from what I was told. We have always wanted a daughter, and now we have one. Please just look at the positive. She may be the reason that the goddess never gave us the daughter that we always wanted. So, we could shower her with our love. I heard Olivia speaking to me calmly through the mind link. She is immediately followed by Carter telling me, "Dad, he didn't mean it. We do have a lot of girls throwing themselves at us. He doesn't know that she is my sister yet. He is just assuming things about her because of what others have done. You will have to do an announcement to the pack about it after you have confirmed it for yourself. No one will believe that she is your pup anyway unless the announcement comes from you. Don't kill him. He is supposed to be my beta. He can be a jerk, but he is a pretty nice guy when you get to know him. His loyalty to me is clouding his judgment. He won't be the beta if he keeps talking nonsense when he has no information on the subject. As the future beta, he needs to keep silent on his opinion, until he has enough information to make a good one. You need to remember, Carter, just like I won't let someone hurt you, I won't let someone hurt her. It is not okay with me. You don't know them, Carter, I do. I already know that the Sullivans have hurt her, and probably for the last 10 years. I need to see her and make sure that she is okay. I linked him back, and I am disappointed in the fact that Joshua was more worried about his buddy losing the alpha position than a scared girl that had just been seeking asylum. I think that Timothy and I will need to have a conversation with him. Timothy never said she announced herself as my daughter. He told me that he could tell by her scent that she was mine. Those are two totally different things. Austin stayed silent and I do not know what he is thinking yet, but Carter is bold, he takes action, and he is quick to make his decisions whether they are right or wrong. Carter needs to be a little more like Austin, especially in life-changing situations like this. Carter is downplaying what Joshua had said when it is clear to me that he thought that my daughter was clearly AWE, and a gold-digging opportunist. I cannot contain my growl of displeasure at his assumptions about her. Timothy, Carter, Joshua, and I will be sitting down together, and we will get them both straightened out. Clearly, Carter was not seeing the big picture, or the problem that I have with his quick defense of his friend, but not his sister. I had caught Joshua by surprise with my deep growl of anger, and the SUV swerved when he jerked his arm at the power of my growl. I saw the fear in his eyes when he glanced over and saw that I was looking straight at him. We pull up to the pack house and I cannot wait. I rushed up the steps and throw open the door. I walked right into the dining hall and looked around to try to see where Timothy and Amanda are sitting. I feel Olivia's calming touch on my arm, but I cannot wait another minute and called out to the room, "Where is she, Timothy? I need to see her." Chapter 12 Raven's POV. When I heard that powerful voice yell out, "Where is she, Timothy? I need to see her," I was scared to death. I started having a panic attack and I cannot catch my breath. This is it, this is where I will be dealt with by the Alpha. I felt both Stella and Amanda touching my hand that was nearest them, as they were sitting on either side of me. Beta Timothy was across the table from me. He can see my face and the clear panic that I was in. I know that they were trying to calm me down, but I am way past that now. I see Beta Timothy look at me right in the eye with his calm demeanor and tell me, "It is fine, Raven, you are not in trouble. I will go get him and we will all speak calmly together. I will be right back. Alpha Cole is just anxious to get to meet you." He came quickly as soon as he heard that you were here. I watched as Beta Timothy headed to the door of the room, just out of view so I couldn't see it from here. We are kind of in a darker corner, hidden from view. I didn't want to see the judgy looks I usually get when I go down to the dining room to eat, so I asked if we could sit in this corner. Most were sitting in the open area. The Beta family was fine with it, and we were almost through with eating lunch. I had already seen Joshua this morning when I came down from the Beta floor with the family. He was still giving me the stink eye this morning. Even though no words came out of his mouth, he managed to convey exactly what he was thinking about me with his face. He doesn't like me and wanted me gone, as soon as possible. I was glad when Timothy sent him away on an errand. I hope that he stays gone all day, to be honest. I think Stella is right, he is a complete jerk, and I am not interested in being around him at all. His immediate decision to deem me unworthy, for whatever reason, is offensive to me. I just left a pack that did that, and I just wanted to be left alone, in peace. Amanda gets up from the table and motions for us to get up too. We cleared our table and then follow her towards the elevator, and head back up to the Beta level. I don't see Beta Timothy in the entryway area, or in the lobby, and there were no signs of Alpha Cole either. As we get off on the Beta level, I see that the door next to Stella's room is standing open, and I can hear voices inside the room. I looked at Amanda with a clear question in mind, but the words would not come out of my mouth. I am really worried that the Alpha personally wanted to see me. I mean, I hadn't asked to join the pack. I was just a nobody, I mean I shouldn't even be on his radar. I was thinking about staying if I can get a position here, one that I liked and was interested in, but just seeing Joshua's expression when I walked into the Beta's living room was making me have second thoughts about it. I think it would be best to maybe earn some money working in the kitchen, for a few months, and then move on. I would have the money I needed to move on. We are going to talk in our room, okay Raven? We all won't fit into the Alpha's office for this. Timothy thought that you would be more comfortable staying with us with you, inside our home to meet Alpha Cole, and his family, Amanda told me. I nodded at her. I would, but I know that they can hear how hard my heart is pounding. I tried to calm myself down. I remind myself that whatever the outcome, the Beta family, well 75% of the Beta family have been very kind to me. Even if they end up kicking me out, my stay here had been better than I could have ever hoped for. I slowed down as I neared the door, with Amanda and Stella stepping in front of me. They were blocking me from the view of everyone in the room, and I could not see them either. It gave me a moment to calm myself down. They stepped into the room and the talking immediately stopped. I managed to get my feet working again, and took a step into the room, with an intake of breath coming from a large man sitting next to Beta Timothy. I can see him move to stand up, but Timothy just held his hand out and gave him a look. I am pretty sure that they are mind-linking each other. The large man, clearly Alpha Cole, settles back onto the couch that he was sitting on. Even sitting down, I can tell that he is an imposing man. He has black hair, and I can only see a little of his face, as there is a light right behind him, but I can tell that he is a very handsome man. I see an arm come out to touch his leg between his knee and thigh, and I glanced over and see a beautiful redhead sitting next to him. She has an easy smile, and I couldn't help smiling back at her in return. I bowed slightly in respect to them before glancing over to look at the last two on the couch. There are two teenagers sitting next to the Luna. They both look to be around my age. They are both pretty big, like their father. Their frame was much larger than mine, and they both exuded power from them. I could tell that they were the Alpha couple's children, and I nodded in respect to them too. The older of the two was on the end of the couch, and he also had black hair and green eyes. He had a slight frown on his forehead, but I didn't feel any anger from him, just some confusion. I could tell that he was the reason the beta's son had an issue with me, as Joshua is standing right behind him, with a smirk on his face like he is going to enjoy what is about to happen. He is clearly showing me whose side he is on, but I am not here to disrupt anything, so he can throttle down with his bad attitude. I looked away from Joshua and look at the teenager sitting next to his mom. He has a smile on his face as if he is truly happy to see me. I cannot help but smile back at him. He is just slightly smaller than his brother, but he had a very calming aura coming from him. I felt like he was excited that I was here, which was weird, as he doesn't even know me. He had black hair too, but he had his mother's brown eyes. They were a beautiful soft brown, and he seemed to be very relaxed, compared to his brother next to him. He and the Luna are clearly both kind people and want me to feel supported in this situation. I try to force myself to relax, with Emerald piping up in a mind link and reminding me that if you were going to be hurt, they would have taken you to the cells already. Not up here to the beta's home, where injuring you would result in a large amount of money to fix the problem. It is a lot cheaper to just hose a cell down than to replace a sofa and carpet with blood on them. She had a good point, but she is not relieving my stress with her comment. I heard a throat being cleared and I glanced back over at the Alpha, who was still staring at me intently. Like he was trying to look into my soul to see who I was at my core. Amanda and Stella headed to the couch, and Amanda motioned for me to sit between her and Beta Timothy. I admit that I was glad to be there, as I felt comfort from being with them. Stella sat next to her mother on the end of the couch, and there was silence as no one knew what to say at first. I heard a throat clear again and the husky voice of the Alpha asked, "What is your name, young lady? And how did you happen to come to be on our land?" "My name is Raven. I was in the Silver Blade pack. I had to leave that pack and was only looking for a way to get away from them. I was not trying to cause a problem in your pack, or trespass. I was actually trying to go to a human city to find a place to live. I told Beta Timothy that last night. I was just trying to get away. If I hadn't, I would have probably been killed," I told them, trying to keep the embarrassing parts away from Joshua. He clearly would be happy at my suffering, and they didn't all need to know my personal business. There was silence for a few more minutes, but I wasn't scared. It may be for the best if she just passes through. I think she is right. The human city might be the best place for her, Joshua said, and I felt Beta Timothy tense up next to me. He is entitled to his own opinion. He didn't offend me, but I could tell from just how tense Beta Timothy became, that Joshua should have kept his mouth closed at this time. The low growl of warning caused Joshua to give a quick look at Alpha Cole. He was furious and barely able to contain his anger. I can see the Luna linking him and trying to calm him, which caused me to wonder what was going on. "It is okay, he did not offend me. Believe me, I have heard much worse said to me at Silver Blade. I don't think he was actually trying to antagonize. He was just stating his truth. I would much rather people be direct and truthful to me than be a fake friend, and just wait to stab me in the back," I told them. I see the Alpha, and the older son on the far end of the couch both look at me in surprise at my words. The Luna and younger son are grinning at me and nodding in agreement with what I said. Amanda pats my hand and said, "You are too kind, Raven. I am still going to have a talk with my son later about his manners. As I know that I raised him with some, and he must have forgotten or lost them along the way. You don't have to do it on my account. I think most people think as I do. I like to be honest and truthful with people, and I would like the same in kind. I don't have time for people who wish me harm, or to be deceitful," I told her. I don't want him punished, especially since I might be willing to stay and work here if I can. It would be hard to avoid him if I were to stay here. It is best to think and make good choices now. He may not be aware that he pissed the alpha off, but I was. I could tell the alpha's son was about to defend his friend and soon to be beta, but since the offense was given to me, I decided to try to defuse the situation. Plus, the beta couple had been nothing but wonderful to me, and I didn't want for Joshua to be reprimanded or in trouble for his thoughtless words. I wanted a good relationship with them and Stella. I can just avoid Joshua. Raven, can you tell me who your parents were, and why you felt you had to leave? Alpha Cole asked me. I closed my eyes and sighed. I knew this was coming, but I am trying to figure out the best way to tell what happened without going into all the details. I finally opened my eyes to look at him and say, I was the firstborn child of Alpha and Luna Sullivan. I had a twin sister named Reagan. We had a falling out early this morning and I could no longer stay there anymore, I told him and tried to keep my voice as even as possible. I did until I said Reagan's name. I did not expect the feeling that I got when I said her name and could not stop my pain from flooding back to me. Raven, I need to tell you something that you may not be aware of. Just please listen to what I am going to say to you before you respond. Your mother, Cassandra, was my true mate. We made it immediately after I found her. We were both very attracted to each other. I was about to mark her when Timothy linked me with an emergency happening in the pack. I told her that I would be right back, before going outside to speak to him. As an alpha, I knew that it could have been another alpha that was present there at the ball, causing the problem in my pack. You do not want to show any weakness as an alpha. So, I excused myself as I knew it would be quick. I had every intention of accepting her as my mate. As soon as I was heading back towards the building, I was brought to my knees by incredible pain, Alpha Cole told me, stopping because he was obviously overcome with those painful memories of that night. I could tell that the memory of what happened, and the pain of that night were not easy to talk about. I have no idea why he would be telling me this, it seemed like a very private matter between him and his Luna. My heart breaks for him though, because I understand the pain of your true mate betraying you like that. I feel a tear escape from my eye for what he went through. Timothy must have told him something about my embarrassing incident last night. I was not in a hurry to share my painful experience just yet, especially with Joshua in the room. I will not be giving him any ammo for him to hurt me with in the future. I think Alpha Cole wants to show me that it could happen to anyone, even an alpha, and I appreciate him doing that for me. Alpha Cole continues after calming down, when I made it to the door of the event, I saw your parents leaving, together, and they bore each other's mark. She allowed him to mark her because I had overextended on the expansion to the pack house, and I was not able to get her the car, clothes, and jewelry that she wanted at the time we met. She thought I was broke permanently, and she wanted more. She wanted someone to take care of her, and let her live the life that she had envisioned for herself. Alpha Cole paused again, and I can tell that this was difficult for him to get out. I wanted to tell him that he didn't have to speak anymore, that I understood his pain better than he could imagine. Maybe more than anyone else in the room. But he had told me not to interrupt him until he was through speaking to me. I cannot disrespect the alpha like that, so I stayed silent. Clearly, his sons are familiar with this story, but Joshua and Stella are completely stunned by his revelation. Neither of them knew anything about this, and they were just as stunned, and sad for him, as I was. It is a big deal to do what they did, in the werewolf community. The pain of his marking her while we were still bound together could have killed me, with her agreeing to take him as her chosen mate. But neither of them cared. It would have probably made it easier on them both if they had killed me. But I was strong, and the goddess helped me too. I went to Silverblade the next morning, and we rejected each other. I had told them both that if a child resulted from our union that night, I wanted the pup. They were both warned about what the consequences would be if they kept my pup from me. I know their character, he would not have taken his anger out on Cassandra, and they are still pretending to be true mates for Silverblade. But they dared to cross me. They are about to pay for all the bad choices they have made for the last 18+ years. I know that since they cannot attack me and live, that they took it out on you. Alpha Cole pauses to look at me, trying to gauge my reaction, but I am too stunned to even move. Is he saying what I think he is saying? Now I know why I was the bane of my dad's existence. He had his child, but Mom had gotten pregnant by both of them. We are fraternal twins, and everything is now crystal clear to me. I can see it all now, ignoring my birth and celebrating hers, not giving me anything but my essentials. Making absolutely sure that I couldn't and wouldn't be able to take over the pack. They knew this whole time, and instead of giving me to my father to be raised, they decided that I would be the one to pay for their sins by allowing me to be abused all these years. They have made me suffer so much at their hands and never felt bad for it, all because they refused to give me up. All because they were angry and wanted to punish somebody. They were too scared to do anything to Alpha Cole because they couldn't beat him, but they could beat me. I was the easy choice. I cannot breathe right now. And I am having a panic attack. I can feel the tears pouring down my face and I don't have any air. I see dots, and then my father looking concerned as he catches me when I fell to the floor. I see him looking down at me, holding me in his arms. I have his eyes, I think to myself, and I can see his mouth moving, but I can't hear anything but ringing in my ears. Thankfully, I am released from all my pain, as I feel nothing else as I passed out in my father's arms. The rest of the audiobooks will be uploaded in the next episode. Join us on Patreon to listen to more unlimited audiobooks.